We're in the middle of nowhere, literally out in the sticks, but whoever was the top dog last year, you want to try and beat them.
Can a shop far away from everything win Resto Modding's top prize?
Nobody likes losing. Being first is what you want.
This is the path to performance, presented by Castrol Edge.
Being born and raised in Rapid City, South Dakota, you know, it's still a small town vibe. It's growing rapidly. We still have the Black Hills, which they're beautiful. I mean, Mount Rushmore's 30 minutes away. There's a lot of lakes, a lot of fishing. When you go to a big city and then you come back here, it really makes you appreciate what Rapid City's about. I'm Tyler Nelson, owner of Revision Rods and Rides in Rapid City, South Dakota. So how I kind of got started in the car world was when I was 14, there was a show called Rides. And after watching the TV shows, my dad had a truck that was actually, would have been his grandpa's truck. It was a 69 C10 long box of all things. And I told him, hey, we should redo this and this could be my high school vehicle. So that's what we did, but it wasn't like we had a clue what we were doing. I mean, we were cutting rockers off, welding rocker panels on without even fitting doors. We didn't know any better. And I still have the truck to this day. It's not pretty by no means, but it means a lot to me since that was kind of my dad and I's kind of first connection we had growing up. I remember it would have been sophomore year, Wyotech, the school for automotive related stuff, sent a rep to Central High School here in Rapid. And from that day on, that was what I was gonna do. So I ran a shop here in Rapid, and after 10 years of doing that, just kind of hit the end of the road. And my wife, at that time, we were just dating and she was just pushing me like, you can do this. And we just took the leap to start our own shop.
When Ty and I met, I owned a gymnastics business. So I knew what it was like to build something for myself and create what you want to create. And so we were at a crossroads. So I just said, write down what we need and let's start pricing it out and let's see if we can make it happen. So I definitely, I pushed for the business to be open. So I just saw everything that he was doing and it's like, let's do it for yourself then.
How we kind of came up with the name Revision Rods and Rides was when these cars were all built years ago, they had a vision because they had designers back then. Well, we're just trying to redo what their vision was, just with the modern look of today's technology on them.
We said from day one, we wanted the shop to feel like a family. We want people to feel like they're fully part of a team. And I also feel like it's more fun to work that way versus staying by yourself, doing your own thing.
We definitely get a lot of work done here, but we like having fun. Double chin there. I don't know where the nicknames come from.
Yeah, I haven't been a part of any of the nicknames. I just go by them, I guess.
My real name is John Leffler. Everybody knows me as Boner.
Can we say Boner on it, or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Everybody in the industry knows me as Boner.
You know, bone's bone. That is what it is.
If I hear John, I really rarely answer.
He tries telling people his name's Bone, but it's not Bone, it's Boner.
Back when I was a kid, there was a show called Growing Pains. Mike Seaver's best friend was Boner, and he was just always messing everything up, breaking things, and so it just kind of stuck. We'll get this thing ready to be blown apart and put back together and start some mud work. There's a lot of different meanings people probably take away from it, but that's the true meaning.
We have Possum, Drew Siders is his name, and he operates the machining side of our operation here.
One of our local welding supply guys years and years ago gave me the nickname of Possum, and it stuck.
Possum, I was wondering about that, but I'm all for the possum box. He seems to like it.
This is the possum cage. They're always joking around about hanging up a sign that says, do not feed the possum.
My wife, Katie, when she comes around, we call her OSHA, because she'll come in here and she gets upset when guys are welding without helmets.
Everybody knows me. When I walk in, OSHA showed up. Get your safety glasses on.
If you don't have your earplugs or glasses on, she likes cracking the whip.
Actually, I've not heard any crazy nicknames for Ty.
You probably don't want to know what they call me. There's probably a lot of names for me some days. We were building the 1969 Plymouth Road Runner for the Barrett-Jackson Cup. Probably one of the biggest things that kind of separates us from a lot of builders. I mean, you definitely have to be OCD. Everything has to be perfect or as close to perfect, because everyone knows there's no such thing as a perfect car. It's just a constant game of just one up, and whoever was the top dog last year, you want to try and catch them or try and beat them. The hood, it's obviously all hand built out of aluminum. So when the hood's open, this is what you'll see. Then we have this 1/2 inch thick aluminum that's machined down to fit in these channels like this. That will all be welded in. So the whole hood's actually going to be super lightweight still, but super strong. So now I have to get everything to fit nice. so we can have a nice gap on there. We've competed at the Barrett-Jackson Cup once before with the white truck, and we fell short. We didn't make the cut, but to win or be in the top 5 even would be huge. I mean, it's definitely going to be fun competition with some of the best in the industry. And the Road Runner that will be competing this year is definitely going to be, in our mind, a really good car for the competition. So here at Vision, we try and do more cutting edge stuff, a lot more modern looking appearance-wise on cars. Well, in order to achieve that, you have to use modern technology. For instance, on like the exhaust tips on the Road Runner, the bumper was already built, the exhaust was already out the back, but we had to have a tip. So then Possum can go in, he'll 3D scan it.
The 3D scanning really creates a pattern that we can use to start with a base design. It gets us close enough that by the time we do our first 3D print, we're fairly certain it's going to fit.
We're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we're in South Dakota. We're literally out in the sticks. We used to always outsource, like a lot of shops do, all their one-off parts. Well, now you're at their mercy. It might take them a week to machine it. It might take them 6 months to machine it. Well, all that does is holds up the production side to try and get these cars done. The hardest thing was obviously to find a Possum to be able to draw and machine. Let's start with that 3D scan that you did of that back bumper.
Alrighty, we'll get a model pulled up here. Do you have any input or anything you'd like to change, Tyler?
We can try one like that with the pattern going that way it matched the rest of the stuff we did around the headlights.
Okay.
The only thing I'm not sure of is going to be these bottom corners, whether or not we're going to want that invert to go all the way out, but we could definitely start with a print of that one.
Sounds good, so we'll get this printed. Alright, so we got our 3D model in our 3D printing software here, and I just have to orient it in such a way that it'll print out nice. Slice the model and send it to our 3D printer.
So he can go from the 3D scan, then he draws it, then he gets a 3D print, then we'll test fit the 3D print, and if it doesn't fit correct, it costs very little to 3D print something, so you just throw that away.
Alrighty, so we're gonna get this test fit. Oh, maybe, there we go. Alright, what do you think of that, Tyler?
We definitely got to tighten up the gaps a little bit, try and probably keep it, I don't know, with like a 30-second gap on it. So we'll definitely have to add to some here, probably like an 8.
Okay, so we'll go. Okay, we're gonna add an 1/8 inch there.
Other than that, I think you nailed it on the rest of the stuff, bud.
Alrighty.
Then we'll have to add our pattern in on the final, but we'll get that outside. Just focus on getting it to fit, and then we'll just add that outside in it.
Machine time's expensive, materials expensive, tooling's expensive, so we want to make sure we're giving the best value to the customer. 3D printing a part in plastic is the cheapest way to do that and ensure we're keeping the quality. Alright, looks like our 3D print's finished here. Get it peeled off the bed, and we'll go out and test fit it. Alright, Ty, I think I have one that'll actually fit this time. We'll give it a try. Let's see what you think.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, well, I think we're ready to get them machined.
All right, yeah, and I do definitely like just having that designed this way versus cutting out there. I think that'll look a lot better. Get her cut, I'll have it by tonight, right?
We'll try.
Generally, we'll have 3 3D prints of any given part to make sure it's perfect before we'll finally bite the bullet and machine a part.
Well, it looks like CNC just finished up our part. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it out. This is the exhaust tip for the Road Runner, the first machining operation. So now we gotta pull it out, bolt it to a fixture, and finish our second op.
I know you have to have money, but also I like having equipment as well. And Katie and I kind of sat down and ran the numbers. and she's more the numbers person.
One of the best pieces of advice I remember, every square foot in your shop needs to make you money. And so I feel like when we don't have to send as much out, then we just benefit and the guys can keep rolling on things. The cars can keep coming in, we can keep customers happy, timelines can stay as on schedule as possible.
My wife, Katie, you know, she's supported me this whole time and really pushed to get me to be where we're at today just by more or less just telling me you can do it. Like there's nothing holding you back.
I'm glad that we had these years to build. You know, Ty's been busy, the whole shop's been busy. And so now it's kind of like, all right, we did this for our family.
You know, just becoming a dad, I mean, we now have a beautiful little daughter. That's 4 weeks ago is when she was born. It definitely changed her whole life perspective on everything, because now it's not just for me, it's not just for Katie. I mean, we have to make sure that everything we do in life now revolves around our newest addition. And as soon as you first see that baby born, it's just unreal what it just changes. I mean, it changes everything in your life, and it's for the better for 100%.
Huge change in Ty. He comes home before the sun sets, usually.
I can't wait to get home just to hold her and just to see her. I mean, it's been a month and she's already like changed. It's just nuts.
She'll grow up around cars and hopefully she finds her passion, whether it's cars or not, but hopefully she sees something that we work hard for and Ty works hard for, the guys, the whole team works hard for. Hopefully that'll rub off on her a little bit. Seeing the whole team's hard work be recognized and win the Barrett Cup, it would be awesome for the guys. It makes a lot of the late nights and everything worth it, especially from people that are at home, all the wives and girlfriends and everything that put up with the long hours. So it's fun to see.
Like when you have an insider, you know, hey, this other shop, we know they build top-notch stuff is going to be competing. I think it definitely helps the whole team here at Revision kind of step it up a notch, just because nobody likes losing. At the end of the day, being second, you still lost, so you don't want to be second. I mean, we've been bridesmaids before, and it sucks. I mean, it's still cool being there. Being second, I mean, that means a lot, but being first is what you want.